Hello, welcome back. My name is Literally Dead, and today is Season 31 of King God Castle. As always, with every new season, there's a new Battle Pass skin, and this time it's the Executioner Queen Rosette. Alright, let's unlock her. And done. As always, I love these unlocked screens, but let's check her out in the barracks. So my initial thoughts are that she's kind of mid, not gonna lie, but for some reason I like the splash art, especially her facial expression. It's very unhinged looking, you know what I mean? Anyways, allow me to read the description. Next one, taking the one-way ticket trip to hell, come on. I mean, honestly, that's kind of badass, and I love that for her. Well, let's look at everything else about this season. First off, you can have a higher chance to unlock Rosette, as well as Ian in the Scroll of Blessing. It is also the Fairy Tale Festival, so that means 2 new skins available. The Poison Apple Estia, which is pretty cool, and Captain Hook Mara, which is a major W. This one's so cool. You can also get the pass skins for Phoenix Queen Hanzi, Flame Spirit King Zuobai, Nutcracker Aramis, Red Robin Hood Tia, Priya in Wonderland, and Snow White Hanzi. And it doesn't matter. Let's just check out how she looks in, let's say, Chapter 1-15, and also 2-15 if I need more time. The chapter difficulty doesn't matter, I really just want to show off the skin. It's going to be a solo team as usual, so let's just jump right in. So let me give my thoughts again. In my opinion, the sprite effects, they're kind of underwhelming, especially for a Battle Pass skin. I don't know if that's just me though, so let me know your thoughts about it down in the comments below. Again, I think the sprite, whatever, the splash art is interesting, again, kind of whatever, overall, just mid. Let's just go over the changes they made for the season. First off, there's now something called the Grand Arena. Players with over 2,000 points, basically king level or higher, will be part of the Grand Arena. Here are some changes. First off, king rank is guaranteed each season, which is pretty interesting. There are also going to be a score reduction due to inactivity. I believe they said not participating in arena for 72 hours. And the seasonal effects will be applied, such as stat boosts based on active regions and classes. Also, you can earn triple the arena tokens on your first 3 battle wins every day. It also resets every day too. Enemy information can also be blocked off or blank, and it depends on the tier. For example, for the 200 or 2000 plus rank, 1 out of 3 opponent users matched in even number rounds is blind. At the 2400 plus rank, 1 of 3 opponent users matched in every round is blind. At rank 2800, 1 of 3 opponent users matched in odd number of rounds is blind, as well as 2 out of 3 opponent users matched in even round numbers of rounds are blind. Finally, at the 3200 rank, 2 of 3 opponent users matched in every round is blind. I know it's a little confusing, but once you see it in game, it'll make a lot more sense. They also decrease the amount in the number of arena victory bonuses and increase the amount of rewards added. Overall, they're trying to get more activity in arena, which is nice because, arena has been becoming stale, and changes like these can help, keep the momentum in arena. The changes made keep things interesting since teams can be a little more diverse, competition can be a little more active, and more rewards is always good. Great change in my opinion. Next up, let's talk about relic changes. The Holy Grenade, which would emit a shockwave to nearby enemies within a 5x5 range when an ally is killed, now cancels Mighty Block and Spell Block of enemies within range. It also cancels a skill that are currently cast, removes stacks, and prevents recovering MP for 1 to 4 seconds depending on tier. Great change. The other one is the Glove of the Star Collector. The stat bonuses also changed from fixed numbers to a percentage. Look, I would just say the numbers, but it's also right in front of you, so just see for yourself. Overall, good change. I believe this makes the Relic a lot stronger than the Mask Relic when it comes to raid. Other than that, I think it's just a good buff for the Glove Relic. Now let's talk about hero balancing. Shelda gets a buff. At level 4, she used to get a plus 30% for all obtained protection, now it's plus 50. But that's not all, she also gets a 10% max HP increase. Hanzi also gets a buff regarding her Awaken ability, Heavy Rain. She used to do 120% of attack, now it's 150%. Looney is the only hero here to get an explicit nerf for this update. Basically her stat boost got nerfed. It used to be 100 to 150% depending on tier, now it is 90% to 120% depending on tier. I think this is crazy because now a tier 7 Looney is technically weaker than a tier 5 Looney from before the update. That's going to be a major hit to anyone who ever uses Looney, and everyone basically uses Looney, so it's going to be crazy. Yol gets a buff though with a 16.7% increase in spell power, and Kanek also gets a buff. Before requiring 60 mana to use his ability, now he only requires 45. Okay, so if you look at Ian's notes at face value, you might think he got super buffed, but actually it's a nerf in disguise, so let's talk about it. First off, he has a 50% attack increase, as if his attack wasn't enough already, right? The next sections are his reworks. This is where things get interesting and everything else gets put into context. Anyways, his skill spell power coefficient went from 100% all the way down to 10%. Spell power is 500% more, and the final efficiency of spell power has a 50% decrease. Basically, he's much stronger with attack, but now has a much weaker spell power. His damage output is decreased, but honestly, you'll feel like you won't notice much of a difference in many of these game modes. What it affects the most is in Rift and Raid, where Ian dominates. But yeah, I think it's a start, but Ian is still busted. Let me know your thoughts about it, or if I missed anything down in the comments. Well, that's all the changes I wanted to cover, so let me give you my final thoughts. The Rosette skin, it's kind of mid. It's nothing special, which sucks because, it's a seasoned Battle Pass skin, and it almost always has to be great looking or better. I think another factor as to why it could be that way is because nobody ever uses Rosette outside of support for Raid, but I guess that's just me. That being said, I'm going to make a Rosette 10-15 vid probably tomorrow, maybe, I don't know. However, I do want to mention that I do like the splash art. It is kind of interesting to look at, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Maybe I'm just lost in her wacky ass smile and I just can't look away, I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Be sure to like and subscribe, or else when you wake up in the middle of the night, you will see Rosette smiling at you across the room in the corner. I would most certainly subscribe if I were you to avoid that, because shit, that is terrifying. Anyways, later.